Hello all, this is James Johnson, aka Sulfurblade, and I'm here with a video that basically involves YouTube. So, this is an issue. So, in my channel, from time to time, I like to talk about issues, especially issues that involve YouTubers, and how and if it might change our, I don't know, way of life on YouTube. And this is one of those issues. This is an issue called COPPA. So what COPPA is basically it's a Children's Privacy Act. Basically, it protects. It's trying to protect children online. Well, YouTube has been cited as evidently not complying with COPPA. And basically, YouTube realized that even though it's a platform for 13 and up, and they've been hiding under that legalese for some time, that they do have kids under the age of 13 that watch content on the platform. And they know this because of cookies. So utilizing those cookies then to create personalized ads for said children put them in hot water for not complying with COPPA. The problem is that the resulting knee-jerk reaction, or what the Federal Trade Commission is trying to push to satisfy the COPPA requirements going forward, is going to make YouTube, well, it's already going into, well, it's technically is not in effect, but it's going to be in effect. So they've given us a grace period to try to appeal to the Federal Trade Commission. However, YouTube has already started to make changes to comply with what the Federal Trade Commission is going to be expecting us, the YouTubers, to comply with. So here is the problem. Our content that we make, whether or not we believe it's made for adults, or whether or not we believe it's made for kids, well, it's better off if it's actually made for kids. So if you are a YouTuber that's out there making quality content for kids, you have an issue. But your issue is not making money. If you're a YouTuber that's out there not making content for kids, and you mark your content as not for kids, but inside of it is content that the FTC believes is for kids, then you get to be hit with a $42,350 fine for said video. And if you have multiple videos, that could add up quite fast. So, what is content for kids? Well, that's very, very, very broad. And I'd love to tell you all about it. There's but I'll recommend you to go watch some of the other YouTubers that are going to talk about that in a more in-depth manner. There's several YouTube lawyers, if you will, that go into this very in-depthly. But to basically simplify it, just about anything that a kid could be interested in could be considered content for kids. i.e., in my circumstance, I make a lot of YouTube videos that revolve around the topic of video games. And we know that video games are a topic that kids are interested in. So herein lies the issue. The topic of my videos are video games. And video games are a topic kids are interested in. Now, even though I mark my video as being not for kids, the FTC could come along and say, no, 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 your video was indeed for a kid, and since you mismarked it as being for an adult, here's your $42,350 fine. Thank you very much. So, what do we have to do in order to avoid any chance that our questionable content could be misconstrued as being for a kid? Well, there are things you can do, but they don't make sense. Not in my world. So, if I want to avoid having my content be deemed as child friendly because it revolves around video games, well, I would need to drop F-bombs or talk about sexual content, or, just talk about adult stuff within the video to make sure that it's not being flagged as for kids, which seems like a very poor way of trying to protect kids. So if I don't drop F-bombs, and I don't clearly emphasize that my video is of an adult nature, I run the risk of being considered for kids because the topic of my videos are video games, and video games is a topic that's liked by kids. Therefore, I have mismarked my content as being adult. I should have marked it as being for kids. Now, when you mark your content as being for kids, you demonetize your video. So, no YouTuber is going to want to mark their content as being kid-friendly because they're going to lose their income. Now, I don't do this for income. I'm not making any money off of my videos. So I could probably mark my videos as being for kids, and it really wouldn't change my world one way or the other than the fact I would lose the comments section on my videos, the discussion section on the channel, the ability for my videos to be saved to a save list, to hit the notification bell. All of that stuff goes away if you voluntarily call your content kid-friendly. and you don't make money off of it. Well, I don't make money off of my content as it is, but I don't want that stuff to go away. And I wouldn't be very comfortable calling my content kid-friendly just to avoid the $42,000 fine, because let's be fucking realistic here. My shit's not kid-friendly. I, from time to time, get a rather, animated, passionate, worked up, excited, and I sometimes use foul language. I sometimes am not completely civil in all of my videos. So it would be wrong for me to mark my content as being for kids. But if I mark my content as being what it is, being mature content for adults, then I risk the FTC coming along and saying, your content's of a video game and therefore for kids. Here's your $42,350 fine. Oh, great. I appreciate that. So that's what COPPA has in store for us in the upcoming future come January 1st. So what do we do? What do YouTubers do that are in the world of video games? We need to become more foul-mouthed. We need to drop more adult-natured conversations into our channel. And then we can, these are YouTubers that actually get paid for what they're doing. I don't get paid for what I'm doing. So they can continue to get their money off of their YouTubing. I simply just want to not have my stuff watched by kids, for one, and for two, I would rather not lose, all of the bells and whistles that come along with being part of YouTube, having the comments, the comments are pretty vital sometimes, I might ask a question in one of my videos, and somebody might be able to answer said question in the comments, or somebody might be able to say, no, you're doing it wrong, or hey, there's a better way to make money in that game, you can do this, or that's part of what YouTube and the gaming community is all about, is sometimes as for my purposes of YouTubing inside of the gaming world, it's not to make money. I don't make any money. I don't even have enough subscribers to make money. And if I did have enough subscribers, I'm not sure I would actually push the button to monetize my channel, because at the end of the day, I'm doing this as more of a hobby, more for the purposes of, being part of the gaming community and helping out fellow gamers. Yes, a lot of my video game videos are just me playing the video game, but me playing the video game, let's face it, somebody can come and watch me play the video game and they can make an informed decision on whether or not they want to buy that video game. Sure, they can go to Mac and, is it worth a buy, and get his idea on whether or not he's reviewed that game and if it's worth a buy. But Mac doesn't, he gives fairly concise opinionated review pieces, whereas watching someone play is a very different thing. Watching someone play, you could formulate your own idea of what you think about the game. So that's oftentimes a lot about what my what my videos are for in the first place. Yes, I do review videos. Certainly, I like to say my piece about some games and whether or not they were garbage or whether or not I really enjoyed them and thought they were the greatest thing since the wheel. But that's to each their own. I don't know how COPPA and what the federal government wants to do with COPPA, how that can effectively jive with our currently established video game YouTube community. So let's take Mac at Worth a Buy, for instance. Mac gives some pretty colorful descriptions of how he feels about certain games. They're not exactly his reviews are definitely not intended for someone under the age of 13. But if Mac marks his stuff as being child-friendly, then he's going to lose all his revenue. But if he marks his stuff as being mature, which they are, which he should mark his stuff as being, then he risks the FTC coming along and saying because his stuff revolves around the world of video games, then by proxy, it is a kid's topic, and by proxy, he should have marked his content as being child-friendly and voluntarily demonetize himself, or face the fact that the FTC is going to turn around and try to give him a $42,350 fine because he mismarked his content as being adult, even though it revolved around the topic of video games. So that's the quandary that COPPA brings to us in the video game community, is COPPA considers video games, by all intents and purposes, to be for kids. And therefore, any video game video on YouTube should be marked as for kids, according to what COPPA believes to the letter of COPPA's law. But it's not that simple. Most YouTubers are definitely not making video game related content for kids. In fact, I don't know many YouTubers at all that are making their YouTube content for kids. But video games is a kid-friendly, kid-interested, kid topic that the FTC can turn around and fine you on. So this is a huge gray area that I don't know which way to go. I don't know if I should mark all of my content as being kid-friendly and avoid the possible $42,350 fine, or if I should mark all my stuff as being mature, which is really what it is, and possibly get a $42,350 fine for a hobby I don't even make any fucking money on. So yeah, that's the quandary that us YouTubers in the field of video games are most certainly facing. And I'm also wondering how many of us really understand that we're facing this quandary. Because until I clicked on the random YouTube video that said I needed to know this information because it was in the right-hand side recommended video for me, I had no idea what COPPA was. I did know that when YouTube gave me the option to change my stuff to be kid-friendly or not kid-friendly, I read a little bit of what YouTube said to me, but it didn't say, warning, you could get a $42,350 fine if you don't mark this right. It didn't say, warning, video games are a kid's topic, and the FTC is made up of politician types that are too stupid to understand the difference between a site geared for 13 and up, you need to be 13 to have a YouTube account, and videos made for said groups of people about video games in an adult fashion. I've never how do I put this? I don't purposely swear in my videos. I don't purposely go out of my way to act like an ass in my videos. I don't purposely try to make my videos more mature than they need to be. I often try to make my videos, I don't know, maybe family friendly, but I don't always hit the mark on that. So I would say that most of my videos are pretty good for a teenager. I think most parents would be perfectly fine with their 15, 16, 17-year-old watching my videos. 13, 14, maybe there might be a little meh, but I hope that parents are doing their job and their due diligence, and that parents are, well, regulating what their kids are watching on YouTube. Seeing as in order to have a YouTube account, you have to be 13 years old. So if you're under the age of 13, your parent has to actually provide you the ability to see that content. Which, if they're allowing their kids to watch me swear and act like an ass in a video, then I have to scratch my head and wonder about that parent in the first place. However, what do we do? What do we do when the stupidity that is the federal government comes along and makes black and white categories like video games equals kids, and YouTube says that if your content is for kids, check the box here, which is basically demonetizing you because you're not going to make the ads anymore. So yeah, we're in a quandary here, and I'm not even making money. So should I risk the $42,350 fine, or should I have the comments section and everything just taken away and just mark all of my videos as for kids, even though they're really not? I would never want I would never want a young child to watch any of my videos. Because, well, maybe some of my videos would be okay. I think there might be a few where I'm not getting too animated or riled up or swearing. There might be a few out there that wouldn't be so bad. But for the most part, my channel on a whole should come with I don't know, a PG-13 rating or something, right? In fact, I'd rather it be a rated R rating. I'd be happier to know that my channel was just being watched by adults. However, according to the FTC, it's on us, the creator, the content creator, to verify that our content we're making is kosher for our demographic we're making it for. But what they leave very foggy is that anything kids related needs to be marked as kids related. So because I'm making video content on video games, kids like video games, and thus I'm supposed to mark my content as being kid-friendly because the topic of my content is something kids are interested in. But that's hogwash. That's complete and utter bullshit. Just because I'm making a video about a fucking video game doesn't mean I want some 9-year-old to watch my video. But if I don't mark it that way, the FTC could come along and give me a $42,350 fine if they think that my video is kid-friendly. So what does that really do? What that forces us to do is to swear more. It forces us to make our video game videos more adult, to avoid any possible way of some politician, some FTC lackey deciding that your video is obviously for kids, and thus, here's your $42,350 fine. But will swearing be enough? Can I put on a warning screen before my video basically saying this video is intended for 13 and up? If you're not 13 and up, please, find your parents and let them know that this video is not intended for you. Will a disclaimer save me? According to the legalese guys on the other YouTube channels, no. Disclaimer will not save you in this situation. Swearing is actually more likely to save you than putting up a disclaimer saying it's not intended for kids. Does that make any sense? It really doesn't. But that's the world we live in today. So, why am I doing this video? Because I had no idea what COPPA was about an hour and a half ago. I had no idea it could affect me as of like an hour and a half ago. And I certainly had no idea I could be looking at a $42,350 fine for making a YouTube video that was not properly marked as for kids. So, this is the part where you really need to understand. If you want to avoid the $42,350 fine, you need to mark your video as being for kids, because they are fining you for not improperly marking your video as being for kids. That's what the fine is for. The fine is not for you cussing in a video that a kid watches. The fine is not for you being an asshole in a video that a kid watches. The fine is for you improperly marking your video as being adult. And I don't think most of the people realize that. I certainly didn't realize it when I got the pop-up from YouTube saying, "Hey, is your stuff intended for kids, or is your stuff intended for adults?" I said, "Well, my stuff is intended for adults. There's no question. It's obviously for adults." And I checked, yes, my whole channel is for adults, without having any knowledge of the fact that most of my videos are about video gaming. And therefore, because they're about video gaming, they could be misconstrued by the Federal Trade Commission as being for kids. And thus, I am setting myself up for possibly getting a $42,350 fine. And in order to avoid getting the $42,350 fine, I need to make it apparent in all of my videos that my videos are for adults. Which means I'm likely going to be swearing a little fucking more in most of my videos. What is this world we live in? It doesn't make sense to me. I have to swear to avoid being fined $42,350 in my videos that I marked as being adult. I can't just mark them as being adult and then not swear. I can't act like a civilized person, because if I act like a civilized person and make a video about a topic kids like, well, the fact that I'm being a civilized person and the fact that content is something kids are interested in could then be watched by somebody at the FTC who's like, "Wow, look at this guy. He's very civil. Everything he says is definitely, something that could be heard by young ears. And it's about video games to boot, so it's definitely right up their alley. He mismarked his stuff. Let's give this guy a $42,350 fine for being civil." But if I would have cussed and swore and made an ass out of myself while doing my video game video, that FTC person might look at the video and be like, "Yeah, this guy is a real ass. There's no way a kid should watch this." Yeah, no fine here. What bizarre world do we live in right now? I'm confused. I'm flabbergasted that this is the world that we live in. Please share this issue. Let other people know about COPPA. Let other YouTubers know about COPPA. Let other gaming YouTubers know about COPPA. This is a big deal, and I've just been blindsided by it. I'm seriously thinking about just deleting all 606 of my videos, guys. I don't know if it's worth being a hobbyist on YouTube right now. I don't know if it's worth me doing gaming videos if my gaming videos can be misconstrued as being for kids, and thus land me a gigantic fine I can't afford to pay. So let me know what you think about this fiasco. Share it around. Tell your friends, tell your neighbors, tell your buddies. Hell, tell the world. Tell your congressman. I'm going to put some more information down in the description of this video. I think there's a petition that you could sign at probably petition.org. I think there's comments that you can give to the actual FTC. They're taking comments that they want to hear regarding this topic. And to be clear, this topic is about more than just my niche of YouTube. It's about more than just us YouTubers that are doing video games. It's about all kinds of other YouTubers, hobbyists, art. There's so many different types of YouTubers that are online that could be considered child friendly if the kids are interested in it. Like Bob Ross, for instance. The Bob Ross YouTube channel is most certainly child friendly, right? But if he marks his YouTube channel as being for kids, he's going to lose his ad revenue. So why would he want to mark his YouTube channel as being for kids? He wouldn't. He would want to mark his channel as being for adults so he can continue to get his ad revenue. So what does Bob Ross in the future, when I think he's dead, but if this was a thing, if Bob Ross was still making new videos, would he have to say, and here's a nice fucking little tree here with another fucking little tree there? I mean, can you imagine that? But yeah, what craziness are we in? So if a kid is interested in the topic, then it's kid friendly. That's actually what the COPPA thing says. If you get a chance to look at the guidelines on how to avoid being COPPA compliant, it's so broad, so vague, that there's no way it can be. There's no way someone can clearly know yes or no. I mean, maybe kids are interested in volleyball. Maybe kids are interested in Pokemon. Yeah, kids probably are interested in Pokemon. So are adults. Just because a kid is interested in something doesn't make it kid material. But according to COPPA, it does. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm just throwing my hands up in the air and saying, what the fuck? I'm going to start putting disclaimers in my videos. I'm going to start cussing more in my videos. All in an effort that if I'm the unlucky son of a bitch who ends up being the first example, being the YouTuber that the government comes after, or maybe one of many examples. Maybe I'm one of, I don't know, maybe they decide to fine just about everyone across the internet for $42,350. Who knows? In this world we live in, anything could fucking happen. But yeah, the more I can do to expressly say that my content is not for kids, I would think that if I do end up in a situation where I have to fight this in court or whatever, that at least maybe my lawyer could be like, yeah, he has a disclaimer in his video saying it's not for kids. You know, he cusses left and right. Just because the topic is about a video game, it just doesn't make sense. Maybe at some point common sense will win over. But at this point, common sense is not winning over. At this point, COPPA is just craziness. And you need to learn about the craziness you need to spread the craziness, the message about the craziness, far and wide to the far reaches of the internet. You need to let everyone know what's going on. At least here in the United States, right? This is a U.S. issue, so this is mainly for U.S. YouTubers. Though, I wonder how. Yeah, I'm not even sure how it affects outside of the U.S. I don't know. I'm sure there might be some sort of situation, because YouTube is a U.S. entity, if you will, and so YouTube is also responsible for this. So maybe if they can't find you because you're outside of the U.S., they might just shut your channel down. That could likely be their way of going about it. They might make YouTube shut your channel down. Yeah, it's craziness. Go Google. Go put this in the search bar on YouTube. Go check out all the other channels, man. If you haven't heard about COPPA, and I'm the first person you're hearing it from, go hear it about some other more edumacated people. But the only reason I'm doing this video is because you're going to start to see me doing some weird things in my videos. And those weird things are probably me swearing a little more. And also, you may start to see disclaimers, or at least hear me give a disclaimer at the beginning of my video saying that my video is intended for adults. So, yeah, and that's why. That's why these changes are going to be made on my channel, is because of COPPA. So check it out. Tell others about it. I'm James Johnson, aka Sulfurblade. This is my content. Hopefully you're enjoying it. If so, please leave a like and subscribe. And until the next time, all, peace